Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from Crafter's Companion, we have the fantastic collection of floral stamp and mask sets. You guys, they work so beautifully, and they make beautiful cards just like this one where you stamp it and then it comes with this adorable little mask piece that goes right over the top and allows you to do more stamping, more shading. Makes it so much easier, and this is our giveaway card for this episode, so one lucky viewer will win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. So we've got Delicate Daisies, Sensational Sunflowers, and Perfect Peony. So let's start with that Delicate Daisies, and this card right here. This is a 5 by 6.5 inch. Let me show you some of the supplies I used for this one. So I used for my background paper that lovely blue. This one right here from the Meadow and Blooms 12 by 12 patterned cardstock. Made that nice blue background with the little flowers and the butterflies. And then I die cut an oval using our 10 oval and scallop cutting dies. And then I stamped directly the beautiful little daisies directly onto this oval. And I used our Misty stamping platform to do that first image, and I used black, tuxedo black Memento ink. Now this is water-based ink or a dye-based ink, so it washes off with water, and that's perfect because we're going to be using these tri-blend markers, which are alcohol-based, to color in the daisies. And you want to have water-based ink and alcohol-based markers so that they don't blend, okay? That's very important. If you had water-based markers and they use that with a dye-based ink pad, then they're just going to turn all muddy. So we want sort of opposite things when we're working on that. So what I did was, I'm not going to color the whole thing, but I started off with my little daisies here, and I'm using the Citrus Blend, which is a beautiful yellow, to color in the centers of my daisies. And we're going to do, oops, I was using the lightest color. I want to use the darkest color. There we go. And I think we're going to color this little flower right down here. And then I used 2 shades of blue. I used this True Blue, and I also used the Ice Blue blend. So I'm using the lightest shade of the True Blue just to add a little bit of blue right next to that yellow, just the center of the flower, just like that. And then I want to use the lightest shade of the Ice Blue. And why I'm doing that is I wanted that nice medium blue color, but then I took this Ice Blue color and I'm just pulling that out from the center with this lighter color. So you're going to get kind of 2 shades of blue going on here, like that. All right, and then I'm using light green marker, okay, for the little leaves. And what I'm doing with that is I'm putting the darkest shade, just a tiny little bit of this really dark green, well, not really dark green, but dark green, at the base of the stem and the top of the stem, and then a little bit at the base of each leaf, like that. Then I'm going to take the medium shade, and I'm just going to pull that color and blend that like this. Then I color in the medium with that dark, blending that up. And now I'm going to go to the lightest shade, 3 pens in 1. And then I'm just bringing that down like this, and then finish coloring the top of the leaf. And my thinking is that the top of the leaf is getting the sun, and so it's going to be the lightest color. And you'll see you get sort of that ombre look where it's dark, medium, and light on there. And then you would just do the same on the rest of those. All right, so now this is the part where we get to use the mask and do all this great stamping and things. So now the masks fit right on top like this one. Now here's the deal. On these stamps and masks, all of the rest of them fit absolutely perfectly. But there is a small manufacturer's defect on this one right here. for some reason, Crafter's Companion let it get through that this part of the leaf isn't exactly lined up to go like that. It's still absolutely usable and works great. It's just, you just have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this. All right, so the stamp set on this is the stamp. Let me see if you can see this better. This is the stamp that I used. And then it's got all of these backgrounds. This little script text right here, some swirls, little fleur-de-lis, and then it says words like daisy and elegant on there as well. And then on my original card, I just did a little collage stamping with that. And I found at that point it was just easier to use a stamping block than to keep repositioning that on my Misty, okay? So let me show you how I did that. I'm gonna take this one right here, this great script, place it on my little stamping block, some of that black ink on there. Now, I just found for the mask that it was easy just to align it like this and then just hold it down with my fingers. Now, if that's just too much going on for you, you can use a little bit of low-tack tape. Oh my goodness, if I can get this separated. And that'll help you keep things in place. Oh my gosh. You ever be able to not find the end of the roll? Oh, I was going the wrong direction. Oh, that's funny. There we go. I'm going to fold that over so I don't have that same problem. My dad would be proud of me. Fold the end of the tape. All right, so we're going to take that and we're just going to tack it down right there and right there. All right, get that inked up again. All right, and then I would just sort of go like this. Don't rock your stamp, just press like that. And then I did another one up here. And then if you want to look like it's sort of fading in the background a little bit, let's lift up this tape because we're going to need to tape over it. Okay, we just not re-ink it. See, that's lighter. All right, we're just going to work on this side of it. All right, and then I'm just going to pile mine up and take the ink off of those later. And because these are just, it's a dye-based ink, I can just use a damp paper towel or just run these under a little bit of water. All right, this one, I'm going to have it go this way. Same thing. Now we're going to just stamp that right over the edge of that mask. Like that. And I'm going to use that fleur-de-lis, which is so pretty. Like that. And then like that. Okay, so you can see where we're going with this. And then I'm going to take that little word daisy. And that is going to go right there. All right, so that's that entire side. Normally I would do the whole thing, but we're just going to move on. All right, so now I've got a couple of shades of pink here that I'm going to use. So I've got lipstick pink and blush. And I've got my little dauber collection right here. And because I use lipstick pink and blush very often, I've got those right here already used, so I can reuse those. If you don't want to buy a whole set like that, we also have them in a set of 6. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take this lipstick, whoa, color. And don't forget, one of my tips is you can always just take a little Sharpie and write right here what color that is so that you can always know what color you're working with. All right, so I'm going to take this tape off. Before inking over the mask that you've just stamped on, it's a good idea to remove like the black ink on there because you don't want to rub that in there. And we like to just keep a little stash of like alcohol-free baby wipes. And just wipe that down just like that. All right. And then we're just going to put this right back over here. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is adjust for that little oopsie right there. And I'm going to take my little pink ink and I'm just going to go right around the edge of that just like that. All right, now it can go back. Okay, and then I'm just going to go around the edge just like this. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to take that lighter shade of ink, that blush. And that's where I just sort of go around the outside edges, just adding more color. Like that. Just spot coloring around that. Okay, and by the way, if you get this, don't forget to do this to keep it from opening up and spilling all over your table. I didn't do that last week when I was working on it home. All right, so see how it masks and it just allows you to put that shading around everything. Worked so nice, even with that little oopsie right there. And as I said, that's the only one that was like that. The rest fit really nicely. All right, let's take a look at the other cards. Gotta get all my stuff out of the way. All right, so the next one, you guys, is the Sensational Sunflower. For that card, I've got this one. Maybe we can zoom out a little bit. This is 5 by 6.5 inches. And I also used a nesting arch on this, okay? So for my background papers, I used sunflower and cardstock, solid cardstock, 12 by 12, for my red matte. Then I also used 6 by 6 sunflower just for one that had this nice little border at the bottom. Okay, so I took care of that and did cut those a little smaller. And then I used some craft cardstock and die cut the shape using the arches. And I stamped directly on that. Now, which ones did I use? Which colors did I use? I used, this is Vintage Sepia VersaFine ink. Stamped my image right there and then did the whole masking thing. Okay, right over the top, inked with a little bit of my favorite gingerbread, and then just used a little dauber to go around the edges of that as well. And that's of course after stamping using this one that looks kind of like a burlap. There's polka dots. I added dream and sunflower, and then I stamped it again on some stamping white cardstock. Whoops, that's upside down. And I used that on the daisy card as well. Okay, this one, I also used this one for my oval. It stamps and colors beautifully, so that's what we love to use on this one. And then I just took my little scissors and I cut out that sunflower blossom and then foam taped that right to the center. But before I did that, I used a little bit of the citrus yellow again to color. And then I also used the, what's it called? Earth Brown ink, which I forgot to grab, but I'll link that down below. And then little green right there. And then when I was all done, added just a little bit of red gingham ribbon. And then this cute little hello there is from our Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle stickers. Added a little gold one right there. Yeah, and this card came together so beautifully. All right, let's take a look at another one. So you guys, this one is using the Perfect Peony. Okay, and for this one, I took the Peony stamp. Let me grab it here. Okay, this one right here. Beautiful blossom. I'm going to put this on something white so you guys can see it better. There we go. So this one, I actually took my 5 by 6.5 inch card. I cut my Stampin' Wet cardstock slightly smaller here, and then I went around and I just stamped that peony blossom with just a few of the little leaves all around the outside edge. So the center, I just didn't have anything there. Then I went ahead and took the mask and masked that off and used my little dauber and that great gingerbread color around each one of those pieces, and then also kind of filled in the color in between them. Then I stamped the entire thing on a little rectangle of that Stampin' Up cardstock, and then did the same thing where you're putting that mask right over the image, just like that, and then took the dauber and went around that outside edge. Okay, first coloring it, of course, with this one is Coral Blend. Get that 3 shades in 1, the light green on the leaves, and the center with that little yellow. There's the center right there, colored that in, and yeah, that went really, really nicely. And then for my greeting, I went ahead and added Celebrate from our More Greeting Dazzle stickers, and this comes in all these different colors: white, gold, brown, silver, and black, and I used this little brown. It's kind of a coppery, bronzy brown rather. Just added Celebrate right there. Yeah, that one really easy, fun to do, fun coloring project. But I used the same stamp set, you guys, for this one, where I stamped it 3 times on this card. This is where the mask really comes in and is so handy, because I stamped it once, like right here, put my mask on right there, and then I took the stamp and I stamped it again right here. And I stamped part of the leaves and everything went right over this plastic mask. So when I took it off, you have 2 of them right next to each other. And then for the third one, I put the mask over the one that was right here. And then I stamped the other one right there on top. Oops, there we go. So you have this really nice display of kind of a bunch of flowers just using the one stamp. And then for the background, I took these really cool little swirly ones. Now I should mention I stamped it in this vintage sepia VersaFine. This is also like the Memento. These are both beautiful inks. They color so nicely and love it. And then went through and colored all of those using the light green for the leaves. And then I used 2 shades of purple. I used lavender and then purple markers. And then of course used that yellow, citrus yellow again on the centers. And then for inking around the background, using the mask, so I would kind of share the mask. I would put on this, put the mask here, and then color on this side, and put the mask color over here. And for that, I used 2 shades of purple. So we've got this violet, and we've got this blueberry color. And I just took daubers, and I went around and colored just small parts of the whole thing. You can see around the flowers was the darker shade using the violet, and then the outside edges using the blueberry. Added another one of those More Greeting Dazzle stickers in the black shade right there. And that one was done. Okay, so let's grab all of these. You guys, we have such a fantastic money saver for this collection. I really hope you check it out because these are so versatile. I really enjoyed using that mask. It was such a time saver. In the past, I've taken and stamped images like this one, and then I would have had to cut this image out and then use that as a mask for my flowers. This was such a time saver. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, money saver right there on the right hand side. Don't forget, this is our giveaway card for this episode, so definitely participate in that. Thanks for joining me today, you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.